What's going on, everybody? Matt here. So today I'm going to be giving my review on Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2. If you haven't seen my review on Part 1 or any of the other seasons, I'd highly recommend checking those out before, just so you guys kind of get my thoughts, but let's not waste any time and jump into this review. Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2 is easily the best part of the series yet. I mean, the Return to Shiganshina arc is one of the greatest anime arcs I have ever seen. It is damn near perfect. From start to finish, it is incredible. It consistently hits you with new surprises and reveals that just raise the stakes for the scouts. It keeps moving from beat to beat without any dull moments. It's just so well crafted, and I loved every single moment of it. This part picks up with the scouts departing on their mission with the people wishing them luck. I love seeing the positive reaction from the civilians with strong support. There have been many times in the series where the people in the walls have acted negative towards the scouts, like in Season 1 when they returned after the attack from the female Titans, so it was nice to see them give such a heartwarming send-off. The reactions of the scouts were also great, Erwin giving that commanding yell and Connie and Sasha embracing the moment. It was just great to see. The ride-off on the horses towards the destination was something I found really amazing. Again, we haven't seen the scouts set out on a mission like this since Season 1, so seeing them ride off brought me great enjoyment. While on the journey to Shiganshina, we get some great character moments with Eren and Armin. Eren is really struggling with the idea that this plan revolves around him, and there's a lot of self-doubt there. I really enjoyed exploring this because this was really the last calm moment we got before all the craziness began. When the scouts finally reached the walls, I was totally caught off guard with how easy things seemed to be going. I figured that the enemy would be there instantly, and while they were there, they concealed their locations, which I did not expect. Eren was able to plug up the hole with ease, which was good until Armin began to find out some clues about the enemy present. Speaking of Armin, I really enjoyed the role both his character and Erwin's character had in this part. The two were very prominent, having to come up with strategies on the fly to defeat the enemy. Armin was placed in this leadership role, which was a lot of pressure for him, but important because of his strategic value and his deeper understanding of the enemies at hand. I really enjoyed seeing that character in this new leadership role. Erwin, like always, was great. I liked exploring the decisions he had to make and how his personal desires played a role in that, but with that came guilt and inner struggles. So I think those two characters definitely stood out to me as two of my favorites in this part. Once Armin discovered where the enemy was hiding, all shit broke loose. This starts something that this arc does very well, is just when you think it couldn't get better, they find a way to build upon what is going on, the situation at hand, and make the next moment just as good or even better. It is just so well structured and consistently great. You have Rhina's entrance emerging from the wall, and Levi looking like the Flash attacking him extremely quickly, unable to kill him surprisingly. Then you have the transformation of the Beast Titan as well as the surrounding Titans, which honestly was just crazy seeing all the flashing lights, which just spelled trouble for the scouts. This was all just incredible. Also, Erwin's reaction was great because I don't think anyone saw this coming at this high of a level, and it's from here the battle begins. At first, everything seemed rather tame. The scouts had an answer for Rhina, which were the Thunder Spears, which is just a great invention. Like the new gear we saw in Part 1, I like how they're constantly developing and expanding on their pre-existing technology to make it better and serve a new purpose. They basically had Rhina defeated. Eren was prepared this time around. He had time to train and have a better understanding of how Rhina fights as well as how the armor works. And the Thunder Spears did their job, exposing the flesh, breaking down the armor plates. It was the Beast Titan that posed the real problem for the scouts. Since this was their first encounter with the Beast, they didn't know how he attacked, and as we learn, he is a distance fighter, which is a huge problem for the scouts. Early in this fight, he surrounds the scouts, not allowing them to escape, and plugs the hole in the wall with a boulder, creating for two different battles on both sides of the walls. And slowly, the beast begins to take out the scouts one by one, which was hard to watch, but I gotta say, it was extremely well animated. On the other side of the wall, Rhina is almost defeated by the scouts, but he ends up screaming for his good old friend Bertolt, who is thrown over by the Beast Titan. Bertolt has a quick conversation with Armin, which is very important for his character development because he has to think for himself, and he does that. He is no longer relying on others, instead acting how he believes is best. During this conversation with Armin, he also discusses how he is no longer conflicted as he once was. He tells Armin that he does believe they are good people and cares about them, but due to his beliefs, he must kill them. Bertolt wasn't a huge character in the previous seasons, but I really like what they did here, giving him great development. We also got to see the true power of the Colossal Titan, which I didn't think there was more to what we already saw in the past. I thought the Colossal was just a huge destructive Titan, but on top of that, the Titan has a nuke-like explosive that goes off when they transform, which I'd like to think makes them one of the strongest, if not the strongest, of the Titans. Just seeing that happen was mind-blowing and not good for the scouts. This creates a whole new problem on that side of the battle, as it seems rather impossible to kill the Colossal, plus they only have 6 scouts to do it due to the explosion killing every other scout on that side of the wall. This is where strategies come in. Both Armin and Erwin come up with 2 of the most important plans, but with these plans come huge sacrifices. On one side, Erwin has a great talk with Levi about his selfish desires and how the weight of the dead lies on his shoulders, but ultimately with the help of Levi, it is decided that he's gonna abandon his goal to be that commander and lead the charge forward towards the Beast Titan. It was just all around an emotional moment. The speech Erwin gave was incredible, but he had to tell the recruits the truth that they were gonna die, and sadly damn near all of them did die, but that was the most heroic charge I have ever seen. Seeing them struck with the shards of rock hurt to watch, but this charge served as a distraction, allowing Levi time to reach the Beast Titan without him realizing, creating for this epic fight. Levi went absolutely crazy and it was amazing to see. It was just one of the coolest and most iconic scenes in this part. Unfortunately, the Beast Titan ends up escaping with the help of the Cart Titan, who I did not realize was a special Titan until later. Probably the most generic of the 9. Not bad, but like, come on, when you have Titans like the Beast Titan and Colossal Titan, the Cart Titan seems rather weak and boring, just to be honest. During all this, Armin and the remaining scouts come up with a plan of their own. You have one group fighting Rhina, which was just a cool fighting general. They were finally able to take him down, and Hanji comes out of nowhere to save the day. Thank God she did not die. I was scared that she died in that blast, and she is one of my favorite characters, but thankfully she did live and she helped beat the Armored Titan. While that's going on, Eren and Armin go to take down the Colossal Titan. Before they begin to execute the plan, Armin gives this talk about seeing the sea, and man did that hit hard, because he basically told us that this plan would involve some sort of sacrifice, and it did. While Eren plugged up the wall below, Armin hooked himself to the Colossal Titan, causing him to slowly burn. Just thinking about this moment hurts. Armin realized that this may be the only way to win, and he was willing to die for humanity's future, and he basically did die in this moment, creating this brief opening for Eren to strike down the Colossal Titan, defeating him once and for all. And just when you thought it couldn't get more emotional, what they love to do is just continue to show us Armin's burnt corpse, just showing us what it cost for victory, and from here on out, it was just so emotional. We quickly see Eren meet Zeke, who looks like Eren's father, and I thought originally it was Grisha's brother, but no, that's Eren's brother, which just adds this what the fuck element. Zeke rescues Rhina and the 2 escape, which, thanks John, I'm still blaming that on you, but this is definitely not a good thing. It makes this victory seem less like a victory and more just like survival at that point. Then the show presents us and Levi with the hardest decision I have ever seen in a series. Do you save Armin or do you save Erwin? And they love to just mess with you at this point, because how do you choose? How do you choose? They are both incredible characters, and either way you are going to lose a huge part of this series. Realistically, you can make a case for both of them. They both have their own importance. Personally, I would have gone with Erwin, but as we know, Armin is the one chosen, and I understand why. Levi felt that it would be unfair to bring Erwin back into this world after making the sacrifice he did, and I have to agree with him. Also, I think for Eren, he would have been lost without Armin, and that just would have affected him mentally. This also means that Armin gets the power of the Colossal Titan, which is a huge win for the people in the walls, but not so much for Armin. After hitting us with that emotional train, things didn't look any better as we learned the secrets of the Cellar, which are some books written by Grisha, with a photo and information about another nation across the sea, which changes everything. Never did I think that this would be the case, but it is. We learn through flashbacks so much about this nation of Marley, their advancements in technology, which reminds me so much of FMA 03 with airships and cars in this world, that this stuff didn't seem possible to have based on what we thought we knew, but it is. We learn about their ideals and the terrible racial discrimination towards Eldians. We learn about the founder Amir, which was just insane to hear about that history as well as the fake history that they were spreading. Then we have Grisha's wife being the Titan that killed Eren's mother, which is just a full circle moment. Zeke being a child with royal blood. And finally, we see how Grisha got his powers, the tragic events which led him down the path we know, and why he did everything he did. Finally, everything is coming together and the puzzle is nearly complete. This information was just so much to take in. It shows how complex this story is and how detailed the world itself is. It's honestly just amazing what they're able to do while also being extremely shocking. All this stuff about the world, Marley, the Titans, everything. This is truly storytelling at its finest. One thing that really stood out to me in all this was the 13-year rule where a Titan user will die after 13 years. In the beginning, I really hated this idea, but as I sat with it, it really grew on me. It creates this inevitable fate for our characters that they will die by the end of the series unless there is a way to reverse the power, which I'm still optimistic about. Also, with this seemingly great power comes a huge consequence. Rather than being able to live with this godlike power for their whole life, the user is really living with a curse that cuts their lifespan down. It's just such an interesting rule added to the story. The return to the walls was another moment that stood out to me. As everybody cheered for the scouts, really there was nothing to cheer about due to all the lives lost in this not so great victory. Hanji becoming commander was great, she has big shoes to fill, but I'm glad it's her. Historia reading Amir's letter was extremely emotional, as that will be the last time they have any type of communication, and the memories did not help at all in that situation. That moment just hit super hard. The season ultimately ends in a time skip where we see the characters finally go to the sea, which is one of my favorite scenes in the series yet. Everything about it was beautiful, from the colors to the animation, the music, just the whole scene was incredible. And finally, after all this time of wanting to reach the sea, the characters finally made it, and it was so rewarding until they realized that the enemy is out there across the sea. And this moment that was supposed to be this great moment can't even be enjoyed due to the fact their world is about to change forever now knowing who their true enemy is. The credits that followed were brief but beautiful. I loved the music and the images that showed us more about the world beyond the walls, leaving us on that image of the shell. And that's it for Season 3. That conclusion was everything I wanted. It was perfect and I loved it. It just wrapped everything up so nicely while also setting up the next season in a way, and it was just a beautiful way to end Season 3. Overall, Season 3 Part 2 as a whole was incredible. I would say it's even close to perfect. It had action, emotion, expanded on the world. It did it all. If I had to give Season 3 a rating as a whole, I'd give it a rating of around a 9.2, 9.3. That's including both parts. This part alone is probably around a 9.7 plus. I don't even know. It was that great. It just can't be any lower than a 9.7 because of how good it was. But both parts combined, it sits around that 9.2, 9.3 area. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I could probably talk about this season all day because of how great it is. I love this part of the story and it made me love Attack on Titan even more than I already do. In the comments down below, let me know what you thought about Season 3 Part 2 and Season 3 as a whole. Also, if you did enjoy, make sure to go down below and subscribe for more AOT reviews and anime reviews and videos coming soon. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.